That day was like, what's going on? Exactly 1 year after I got fired from my first company, this happens. I got fired twice in a year. And I know I'm saying it with a big smile and it looks like a funny situation. Obviously, it wasn't and it's not. But I am sure this video will be helpful for those who are rejected from a job or a relationship, because I'm going to explain to you how I overcame this situation. Before we jump in the story, I'm gonna ask you a small favor, which is to like this video because it signals the YouTube algorithm that the video is useful, and I promise you it's gonna be useful if you stick until the end, and I can help other people reach this video. So I told you I got fired twice in 1 year. Can you imagine that? How devastating it is to have the same situation occur the second time within the same year. The first time I got fired, I was doing a job as a recruiter. I was enjoying the job per se. However, I didn't really fit in the company's culture. It was all about making money, 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 but it wasn't anything about helping people or having a purpose. Therefore, I wasn't really aligned with the job position I had, okay? And though I enjoy the recruiting because it's about evaluating people, selecting them, meeting them, I wasn't enjoying the conditions with which we were recruiting the people, because it was all about profiting the company but not helping the candidates. So obviously I wasn't aligned with this job position, and it turned out that I got fired. And because I wasn't aligned with it, the universe gave me a big slap on my face, and he was like, you need to wake up, okay? You need to wake up. This is not the job for you. You're just wasting your time. Yes, you're making money, but you can't stay here long term because you're wasting time. You could be doing other things that will benefit you long term. Guys, but the mosquitoes are killing me. What is God? I have good light in here, so I'm not gonna move. Plus, you could see that I didn't enjoy the job because of the conditions we were giving to the candidates, okay? And so I was just doing the bare minimum, even quite quitting, I would call it. And one day I was there chilling, doing my stuff on my laptop. I received a call from my boss telling me that he wouldn't continue the contract. At the beginning, it was the first time I was getting fired. I was a bit in shock because, yes, I was doing the bare minimum, but I was still trying to uh, put commitment in it. So at the beginning, I didn't really accept it and I didn't take responsibility. Remember that day as if it was yesterday, and it was just 1 year ago, okay? I was like shocked. I started crying, and then I was relieved. I was just, oof. Yes, I wasn't going to have an income for a couple of months. Yes, I wasn't going to work. And plus, it was during the summer. It happened at the end of May, beginning of June. So for me, it was like, I'm just going to enjoy summer. But I cried, but I think it was just a tantrum, when you throw a tantrum because something doesn't go the direction you want it to go. But I didn't care at the end of the day. I felt relieved. Okay, so this was a big lesson for me, because you cannot stay where you don't belong to. No matter what you do or what you say, the universe will put you in the right path all the time. So if you take a direction that it's not yours, and within yourself you know that it's not yours, the universe will be like, nope, I'm gonna take you from here to here because you need to stay here, because this is not the right thing for you. And indeed, it wasn't the right thing for me. Just making money out as a purpose wasn't a good purpose. Plus, I wasn't learning anything. So that rejection was a redirection, and it was for the best. Yes, it was painful at the very beginning, but I remember that day that I didn't feel that sad. I was like, I'm just gonna, even if I work in a restaurant, it's completely fine. I'm finally not in this job, not obliging myself to wake up to something that I disliked so much. And so this was lesson number one, that if you are not feeling comfortable with that situation, if you're not feeling good where you are at the moment, you're not gonna stay forever, because at some point the bubble you're in, it's gonna explode and something will happen. The universe always has the best intentions for you, okay? So it's either gonna be with the good manners, so in a nice way, you realize yourself that you're not in the right situation, in the right place, and so on, or the universe will give you a sorry, a slap in the face and tell you, wake up, because this is not the right thing for you. And you deserve so much better. You deserve something aligned with your purpose. Not everyone likes the same thing. Not everyone will be doing the same thing in the world. It only depends on your values and principles. I'm reading a book called The Mountain Is You, and it talks about the self-imposter syndrome and how to turn it into self-mastery. It's super interesting. I really recommend you that book. And it says that in life, you need to have values, yes, but most importantly, you need to have principles. So you need to stick to these principles. So, for example, if you want a long-term relationship and you want to commit, then you want someone that shows commitment to you, okay? If you start dating people that don't really show that they want to invest time in you, or they want to talk to you, or again hang out with you, and you have to always chase them, then you need to have a principle for it. As in, if someone doesn't show commitment at the beginning of our relationship encounter, therefore I'm not going to continue, because otherwise I'm going to stick to that pattern that I have. I will have people coming and going out of my life all the time. But if you have a principle where you say that the person needs to show commitment, for example, text you, show interest, ask you to go out another time, and so on, then you're going to spend and invest your time in this person. Other than that, you're not going to stick around this person. If they show that they use Tinder, go out with other people, not text you back, not care about you, ghost you, then you're gonna just eject these people from your life, so you don't waste your time. That's why it's important that you stick to your principle. I use that example because it's really common, but it's the same with a job. So I need a job with a purpose where I can help people, okay? That's why I do YouTube and I do videos about the new self era, self-development, and I try my best to help other people. Otherwise, the universe, God, will always eject you from that position and tell you, go ahead and follow the principles of the things that you want. Getting back to when I was fired. That summer, I enjoyed the month of July. I have traveled. And then in the month of August, I had like I crashed completely. I was depressed because I didn't know what to do with my life. I didn't want to give up and I didn't want to stay depressed in bed and feeling useless. So I started to check which skills I needed, because you know how fast the technology is going and you need to keep yourself up to date. So I checked web development, graphic design, until I came on digital marketing. And that's why I bought a course and I started like learning by myself. And then I did a 3 month boot camp training with a professional organization. But before that, I also applied to become cabin crew for Emirates. And I realized something during that day, that I could help other people become cabin crew through my YouTube channel, but not just by explaining the process, but also giving them the success mindset that they need. Got rejected from the assessment day because of my height, but I knew by heart how the process worked. So that's why I created a guide for everyone aspiring to become cabin crew. And I realized there that I could use digital marketing and help other people. But YouTube alone didn't really give me any money. I wasn't monetizing at all. So I decided to get a job into digital marketing. And then I worked for this startup, which was amazing. And it corresponded to one of my principles, which is geographical freedom. If I work for a company, I want to have geographical freedom, have the ability to travel and work at the same time, because I perform at my best when I have this freedom. So obviously I was working well. I was very motivated, but one day out of nowhere, after a month of contract, even though I was working in this company for 4 months through the internship, after 1 month, I received this call. My two bosses calling me and telling me, we have bad news. And I was like this. My face was. But one thing, my intuition 1 week before or days before was having these scenarios. So in my head, I would have these scenarios out of nowhere of them calling me and telling me that I was fired. So I know it sounds crazy, but days before this happened, I had these scenarios come into my head. And, sometimes you have your mind telling you negative stuff for some reason. And I tried to reject this thought and say, no, why? Why would they fire me if I'm doing great? They tell me on a daily basis that I was doing great. After a week, still, I received this call where they tell me we have bad news. And the scenario was replaying in my head, but in reality this time. And they tell me we are not gonna continue with your contract because we also got fired. The main investor of the company decided to shut it down out of nowhere. The company was doing great, but they decided to shut it down. It's a big corporate company that controls so many brands that you guys drink and eat on a daily basis, and they decided that they're gonna shut it down. And this happened exactly 1 year after I got fired from my first job. Okay, that day I wasn't happy. I wasn't relieved at all. I mean, after a month of contract, it's obvious that I just started crying. I cried so much. I had a panic attack. I even threw up. I'm sorry if I'm gross, but that day was like, what's going on? Exactly 1 year after I got fired from my first company, this happens. And so my world completely shut down. Obviously, I felt like a failure. I felt like I was worth nothing, because at the end of the day, I know it's not my fault that they closed the company, but I was responsible for my choices. So the choice of going for this company, plus the world crumbled completely because I don't have any help, as in I sustain myself by myself, plus I don't have a privileged family, so I have to help them as well. I will tell you my story. Obviously, I needed that job. In that moment, I needed that job. The first time, it was like, yeah, it's the summer, I don't care. Plus, I didn't really like it, so I feel relieved. But this time, I liked the job. I had my geographical freedom. But, sorry, I got a bit emotional. I would like to cut this part, but to be honest, I want to show the human side of people, so it's good that you see it as well. But let's go back to this. I have this thing when I start crying, I cannot just stop. I needed like 15 minutes. Now, let's go back to what I was saying. So I was saying, but yes, I had the geographical freedom and I loved the job I was doing in digital marketing for that company. But something is missing. I have a bigger desire, okay? So after thinking carefully about it, I realized that yes, I had geographical freedom. Yes, I enjoyed the job I was doing. However, there was something missing. I know you guys are gonna say it's a difficult goal to reach or a difficult objective to reach. It's not. Since a long time, since I was a kid, I want to reach financial freedom. However, you cannot reach financial freedom if you just work a 9 to 5, okay? And if you give 100% to it. Yes, you could build a side hustle, but it depends on who you are. You can reach financial freedom if you obviously are consistent, if you work hard, by creating a business. And I always wanted to create a business. So I came to this realization having my second rejection after 1 year the same time. It's not about being unlucky. It's about being aware of what's going on. And when you don't like something, when you're not aligned with it, it's gonna show. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. No matter how many times you go back to that place, no matter how many times you do your best to lie about it, the universe will give you a big slap on your face and tell you, you have a bigger purpose, go do that thing, take those risks, at least try, but don't stay in your comfort zone. I want you to also not tie your identity to a job, not tie your identity to a failed relationship. Who you are only relates to who you are, your values, your principles, and what you like. Sometimes when we fail at something, we feel like we are completely useless, don't have other opportunities, we will not find any luck anymore, but it's not true. That's why you need to reprogram your identity, shift your identity completely. Instead of saying I'm a failure because I got fired, I say I got fired, yes, but I think it's just a redirection once again to something better. Because if I wasn't fired the first time, I would have stayed in a job that wasn't fulfilling me, and I would have never learned about digital marketing, which is a growing industry, and it's one of the most asked skills right now. Or, for example, I would have never created a guide to help people become cabin crew, and I have received so many positive comments about it. So I'm super happy to have helped with this guide and with this YouTube video. Therefore, never get discouraged, because when a door closes, there is another one that will open and will be more fulfilling for you and will make you even happier. And I know that during the moment when something bad happens, it's difficult to resonate with these words, but that's why it's important to allow yourself feel those negative emotions and feelings, but then get back stronger than ever. Try to find other solutions. Don't go downhill and become depressed, because that's not going to help you. Always have this success mindset working in the background. Always, you need to be super careful with the way you speak to yourself, because the words matter. The words will have an impact in your subconscious mind. So if you want to shift identity, never tell yourself that you're a failure or incompetent. Instead, say, okay, this didn't work out, probably because I wasn't aligned with it, I didn't like it, I wasn't in the right industry, I wasn't in the right relationship. Something better, because I deserve the best, will work for me. It was just a lesson, and a rejection is a redirection, but always for the best. Always have this thought that the universe wants the best for you. And so now I will try and find out my other path. So the universe took me, now I'm here. I'm gonna restart from here and see if I could build a business, maybe, or find another fulfilling job that is more aligned with myself, so that I don't find myself again in this situation where I have to be pushed out with strength, with aggressiveness, from something that it's not 100% aligned with what I want. The universe will teach you a lesson until you learn it, in a good way or in a bad way. Okay, if you don't want to learn, then keep making the same mistakes. I will try it on myself. Now let's see if I'm going to build a business, something more aligned with what I like, with what I love doing, or I'm going to go back at making the same mistakes and then getting rejected from the universe. But let's see how it goes. As I told you, this video has great value and I want to reach as many people as possible. That's why I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe, because that's one of my purposes, which is to help people. Okay, so I need to reach more and more people, and the only way to do that is for you to leave a like and subscribe if you didn't do it yet. Thank you so much for listening, and leave some comments, tell me about your story, and I'm gonna see you the next time. Thank you. Bye. A rejection is a redirection. A rejection is a redirection. And these mosquitoes keep biting me. But I stayed here until the end, because the video was the most important thing to do. A rejection is a redirection. A rejection is a redirection. A rejection is that. Why?